Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On this video I am going to walk through to the Hyprland dots that I shared through GitHub, and at the same time I'm gonna also go through some of the most frequent questions asked. Okay, so once you have successfully installed Hyprland using the install script that I provided, so let's say that's the let's say you have installed using this install script, which I have shared to the GitHub, and then you will get of course a wallpaper and the Waybar. Now the first thing that I suggest you to do if you are first time using a window manager or Hyprland or the dots that I shared, there is always a hint button here on top. If you could see here, hint button. So click this first. See, quick tips. Click it. Then you will have, it will pop up a small like a shortcuts or keybinds, which I set for these Hyprland dots. Now as you can see in here, this penguin is equal to the Windows. This is called the super key or Windows key for those who are new to Linux. And for example here, this is Windows key plus enter. So Windows enter, then it will pop up the key terminal. Sorry. And then to quit it, to close it, you can press the super Q. So that's the one. And like I said, this is just a small, this is not the comprehensive list of the keybinds. And along at the bottom you will see here super E, which is view or edit keybinds settings and monitor, which I'm gonna show it to you later on. Now this hint button here, this is only available to the default Waybar. So let's say we'll change now to a different Waybar. For example, let's take left west wing. There's nothing here on the hint button. Now you will ask, so how will you then relaunch it again? So that would be super H. There you go. It's also stated here at the bottom, launch this app or launch this help file, Windows H. Now just this is just the two things that you remember, or I mean whenever you lost, always help. So super H. Now the keybinds that I set here is always, most of it, 99%, most of it includes the super key. However, there are some like universal, even on Windows is applicable, there's no Windows key involved. So let's say for example here, Control Alt P, this is the power menu, or the W logout. Okay, and then same also if you want to launch, let's say the menu, you can press, let's go back to the default Waybar. You can press here the Hyprland Hyprland logo. As you can see in here, left click is Rofi menu, middle click wallpaper menu, right click Waybar layout menu. So some of it, there is a what do you call this? There is a tooltip in it, but some is only like a numbers. For example, here on the CPU, this is just the core, how much percentage is using, the disk, how much is used, and of course the backlight here, power plug, and this is the weather, and so on and so forth. Now not all of the modules here have a tooltips, so just bear that in mind. Most of it, if it has a tooltips. Okay, like for example, this one, this is a only activated or deactivated. This is actually a idle inhibitor. This is one of the most frequent asked. And if we go on the Waybar, for example, Waybar Linux. If you go to the wiki here, you will see here the idle inhibitor. And if we go to the issues here, idle inhibitor, there is one which they were asking like a tooltip, but deactivate, I mean here for example, they are requesting like a notification at least, or a pop-up, or a tooltip at least, but it's never been closed. So I mean, if you have a lot of questions with Waybar, this is the best way to check out. You can check out the issues. Also the same at the closed one. Then it's better to go through here, because if I go through here and I put it on my wiki, then it's going to be again a long, and this is only a Waybar. How much more with the Hyprland, how much more with the Rofi, and so on and so forth. Now let's go back there. Super H. And then, for example, this drop-down terminal, super shift enter. This drop-down terminal is not working properly for Debian and Ubuntu, as I have stated on the README. Here, Pyprland is a hit and miss. The drop-down terminal is not working. Zooming is also a hit and miss. Zooming is this here, super Z. So if let's say help key, there should be here, super Z. This is the Pyprland. Okay, so again, like I said, this is your best like a go through, so you don't have to ask a question to my Discord, because you will get it here right away. Plus also, as I said, this is not a comprehensive list of the keybinds. If let's say you press a super E, let's just close this, super E, then you will see in here the user keybinds and the default keybinds. There's also a laptop keybinds if you're using a laptop. It's of course applicable to you, and the default keybinds. Then it will pop up here, and this is by Nano. Now a lot of the guys, or no, not a lot, but some of the guys, they were asking me to change it to Vim or NeoVim and so on, and I told them no, because there's a lot of new users, and believe me, also me, on my first time of using Vim, I'm using Vim generally. I don't use the NeoVim, but the keyboard shortcut is almost same. When I was new in using Vim, I was really lost. So that's why I decided to keep the Nano. I was also thinking to switch it to Mousepad, which is a small text editor, which I also set to install. But the Nano is, I believe, every Linux user should be able to navigate and go through and work with it very easily, because Nano by default, it's installed to all distros by default, of course, unless I believe Nano is there, because this is a really tiny and very small package only. Now here, you will see here main mode. That's the super key. So seeing here, it's stated that main mode is super key. Okay, So main mode, main mode, main mode, or Control Alt L, all this stuff you will see it on here. As you can see, there's a lot. It's a long list of keybinds, and there's a lot. So I suggest you go through there. So let's exit this, and also the user keybinds, for example. You have here the main mode D. This is the Rofi menu, which I will also show you later on. And also here I set like a files to launch will be tuner, terminal kitty, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I mentioned here the Rofi. This is the app launcher, Rofi Wayland Super D. Now with this, let me just close this. Super D, or let's change the, make it a little bit brighter. Super D, then you have it here, the app menu. You notice in here that there is the files, run, Windows. Apps, this is where the applications, files, actually you can navigate here through Rofi. Run, for example, this is like a how can I say, like a hidden terminal. So let's say type in here kitty and press it, it will launch the kitty. So again, Super D, we were on run, or you don't have to click here if you are using a keybind, or sorry, if you don't use that much mouse, you can actually use the keyboard, which is Control Tab. See there? Now it's changing. Control Tab. Windows, this is these applications which are open. So for example, here I have the OBS running, then of course it will, it didn't really take me there. Yeah, it's like it took me there. Okay, so for example, the Super D, if you are searching for a package, let's say kitty, just type it kitty. That's one of the app launcher here. But there is also a desktop overview. Now desktop overview, again, it's Super A, desktop overview. You can see in here, these are the list of the open window or packages. Let's say I open this and then I move this to 4. We are now on 4. Yeah, I'll move it to 5 and 6, for example. Super A, and you can see in here workspace number 6 is there, workspace number 5 is there, and so on. So that's Super A. Now let's go with the blank desktop. Super A again. As you can see here on top, there is a type search. This is the same as searching with the Rofi, but it's not using the Rofi. It's using the AGS or the iLours GTK shell. Now you type in here kitty. As you can see in here, again, it's there, but why did it launch? It opens to the other one. Okay, but you can also use this for searching the internet. Let's say Google, search the web Google, then it will open here, it will open your default browser. I did not set any default browser here, so if your default browser is, let's say, Google Chrome or Chromium or Brave or whatever, then it will use that one. Okay, so going back again, Super A, you just need to type, then you can also scroll up and down. You can also use the mouse whenever you want. Okay, there's also one which is the Google search. This is Super S. There you go. So Google, again, same, it will open the Firefox or the default web browser that you are using. and so on and so forth. Wallpaper. This is not the wallpaper, which I will discuss it now. Okay, we go with the wallpaper. So wallpaper, if you, for example, you have your own wallpaper, then you need to place it to pictures and then wallpapers. Now, mind you, these wallpapers, which I will also again show, do not leave a space. That's because I notice, let's say here, let's leave a space, animate city, and super W. So let's say super H is super W, super W. Then you could see in here that there are two now which are blank. That's because there's a space in here. So if you need to move a wallpaper, make sure that there's no space. So you can use a underscore or just dash or whatever. I don't think you can use this one, so because this is a directory separator. Okay, or just leave it like this, no space, but just make sure there's no space on it. Okay, so here, as you see here, anime city, that's the one. Now it changed the wallpaper. So again, super W, choose wallpaper, and then this is a new one here, super shift W. Now this super shift W is, I honestly didn't know about this. I just found out after watching Stefan's Raave, and I had a quick look on his code and had a quick search on ImageMagick, and I was surprised I could implement, which is really nice, actually really nice. And but for his implementation, my implementation is quite different. For him is, let's say now, I have a effect or I applied a wallpaper effect. Here you go. I applied a wallpaper effect, and for him, whenever if he needs to change another wallpaper, it will apply the same effect. So for me is I didn't made it like that. So if I change again to another wallpaper, it goes back to the original state. Okay, so super shift W. Let's say here the negate, for example, and then again, if you want something different like blurred, for example, here you go. And if you don't want the effects, of course, no effect, but then it will only apply the normal wallpaper. Okay, now these effects, you can customize it also the way you want. If you navigate to .config, hyper, user scripts, wallpaper effects.sh, then you can add in here, first is the name that you wanted, and then of course the command that you need. Just make sure that you have this both at the beginning and magic command and the wallpaper out. This is very important. You need to only change these two. So for example, if we copy this and then blurred, we rename it blurred 2 magic, let's say blurred, let's say 10 by 20, for example, blurred 2. Now of course save it, super shift W, blurred 2 is here. Let's say if it changes, you can see, and also here applying, there you go. Okay, now if you search the internet, magic, ImageMagick, there is here the command line tools magic, and it has here the function, so you can add whatever you wanted, whatever you changed. And if, of course, if you found a new cool feature or something, then you can submit a public request or pull request, sorry. Then I can add it here to be also available to all of us. Okay. So super H, random wallpaper. This is Control Alt W. Okay, that's the random wallpaper. And then again, if you're using a multi-monitor, it will only change the wallpaper which is focused at the moment. The rest, it will not be affected. However, the only thing that will affect is the colors on the waybar. If you, because the waybar, I don't think there is a way that I can set another color for another monitor. At least none that I'm aware. For example, here you notice the color here also changed. Okay, I'm not using a Pywall, by the way. I changed to Wallace like last month or so, just so you know. Okay, again, super H. The waybar, hide and unhide waybar is super B. Then it hide the waybar, and super B again there. It doesn't kill, it only hides. Okay, waybar style, so super Alt V, this waybar style. Super Control B, sorry, super, oh, I need to change this. Oh, sorry, yeah, super Alt B, waybar layout. Super Control B is the waybar styles. Okay, and so on and so forth. Now, if you're seeing here at the end, more tips, I created a small wiki. Unfortunately, I don't think you can. No, unfortunately, cannot copy or even cannot copy. But if you go to my GitHub page, Hyprland Dots, by the way, this Hyprland Dots link is all in the distro Hyprland README. Maybe I will also put up here a small shortcut, but here is here. This repo doesn't contain Hyprland Dots. The dot files can be checked out here. Okay, then I created this wiki, and there's a lot of information here, and I add as much as I can. Okay, so please, I really urge you to go through here, because there's some information, so a lot of information here, which I've been asked a lot of times on Discord, but I always add it here because they're not going through the wiki that I create, and there's a lot of information here. You will be surprised how much it is here. And also, I would like to apologize in advance because my primary language is not English, so I only type as I think of, and maybe some of the wordings here are maybe wrong grammar or misspelled or whatever, and I do apologize for that. If you have an improvement, then please do let me know, and then I will change it. If you are confused with the wiki, then I will try to guide you as much as I can. Okay, that's the wiki. I will go through that one in depth later on. Why I have it here is this the group activated. Okay, so now I mentioned about the Rofi. I mentioned about the waybar layout. I will not mention any of the customization of the waybar because I mentioned that already before, and this will be also long. Oh, also here, all window float. So one single window float, or all windows. So super Alt F or super Shift F. Okay, so for example, I have it here open a lot. Let's see. So if I press super Shift F, the one which is focused, this is the one that I can drag along. This is now in floating mode. So I just press super and then left click. See here, I can move it. Super and then right click will resize the window. Okay, super Shift F again, it will go back. Now the other thing is super all windows, super Alt F. So Super Alt F, everything now is in window. As you can see, maybe nothing changed, but see, you can now move it around. If you just press Super and then click, then you can move it. So again, Super Alt F, it will go back again to the original state. Okay. And there's also one here, Gamemode. This one will switch off all the animations. Super Shift G. As you can see here, no animations. So let's say I will change to 9. No wallpaper as such, nothing. So again, if you want to go back and go back to the previous one, you just press Super Shift G again. Then it will go back to the original state. Or see in here, game mode is disabled. The purpose of the game mode is it should reduce the load to your CPU, load to your GPU, and so on. Okay. And then what else should I mention here? Blur Super Shift V is always Super Shift V. As you can see here in the background, let's move this. So as you can see here in the background, Super Shift V, again normal blur, Super Shift V, less blur. Okay, so this is a good way for you to like show off. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the FAQ. So again, Hyprland-Dots Wiki. Okay, and then I'll go through here with the FAQ, or frequently asked questions. So it's zooming in. Now, I think top question that I've been asked is how to uninstall this with any distro, Hyprland, Arch, Fedora, OpenSUSE, Debian, Ubuntu. Most of the guys who were asking is Debian or Ubuntu users, or mostly actually Ubuntu users. Again, I did not hide anything. I put it on the README, and I even highlight it. Let's say here with the Ubuntu, here it's on the first thing. The main reason that I did not include any uninstallation script is simple. When I created the script, I started from a very minimal install. For Ubuntu Debian, I had the server install. Arch, I did the minimal install. Fedora, I installed using the Fedora everything. OpenSUSE, same. So there's no DE and so on. And if I created, and trust me, I have tried it, I created an installation script, it messed up the system. Of course, I did test on a VM, I did test on a separate, and it messed up the system, and I don't want that. I don't want that you come to me and say, oh, I used an installation script, now I cannot use my system anymore, then I have to reinstall. So that's the reason why I did not add any installation script. And this was actually, I learned it from KSK. He suggested to add a time shift. Time shift is actually a lot easier to use. If you're using a BTRFS, Snapper is also a good one. So again, I would like to re-highlight, there is no uninstallation script in here because it may break your system if I create an installation script. Okay, because there are some packages, shared packages, that maybe it's already installed by default by your distro, which because of my install script, I added there the dependencies, and if you remove that one, again, it will, or more than 60% or 70%, I would say, it will break your system, because it did to me. All right. Okay, frequently asked. Go back. Now, if you install this alongside a GNOME or Plasma, most of the guys, they said, oh, um, it boot again on GNOME or it boot again on Plasma. The Hyprland is not there. This is very applicable to those who have used an auto login. So what you need to do first is disable auto login, and then you choose as per below, GDM or SDDM. These two images are provided by DDABS. Shout out to you, or Don Williams. He's a really, I mean, I only knew him for a very short time, but he did really a lot of things. He helped a lot of the members on Discord, and he also suggests a lot of improvements, not only to the dots, to README, and to the group. So I'm really appreciate this guy, Don Williams, or DDABS on Discord. Maybe you already knew him, you met him. So disable the auto login, log out, then you choose here the Hyprland. Okay, if Hyprland is not present here after you installed, probably the Hyprland or the script failed to install Hyprland. So I would suggest you go, which I'm gonna mention down below later on. Okay, let's go with the another question. Will this work on a VM, VirtualBox, and so on? Most probably. I know that it's working on a KVM because that's the one I'm using for testing. I don't know, I'm not aware of VMware. I'm not using also VirtualBox. I'm using VirtualBox long time back. But few days ago, there's a lot of query on the Discord about the VirtualBox, VMware, and so on. And believe me, I didn't even, I mean, they have a lot of issues. So, and just one thing clear, Hyprland is best to work on hardware. Even my 10-year-old, no, 2024 now, so 2015, almost 10-year-old laptop, I use the install script and it works fine. It's not fast per se, but it's not really slow compared to a VM. Okay, so the next questions here is, it goes back to the login manager after install. So this I mentioned here. Check logs. When you run the I don't have here, but when you run the install script, it creates a install logs directory. Check in there. Some of the packages may have errors, it didn't install properly, and so on. Or you can also, on the login manager, Control Alt F2 or Alt F3, log in as a user, and then type Hyprland. Now make sure it's capital H, okay? If command not found, then most probably Hyprland was not installed. The best way actually, which I've seen 99% of the issues are being fixed once they rerun the install script again, because it passed through again and then reinstalled installed the Hyprland. Okay, let's go back. Next one is the wallpaper. I mentioned it already about the wallpaper. Just put the wallpaper desired on this directory. And again, a note here, wallpaper file name should not contain any space. You could use a hyphen or underscore as spacers. However, do note that the automatic wallpapers change. Now, I have actually issued, no, not this one. I have actually issued a hotfix a few days ago, yesterday, and I disabled the automatic wallpapers by default because I observed it's starting to get weird on the system. It's changing like a lot of things. Whenever I just reboot, sometimes it lags. I don't know what happened, but you can re-enable again if you wanted by editing this file. So let's go check that one. You can again re-enable it through startups. So you can re-enable here. Just delete this one. And then of course, reboot or log out and log in. Then it will do the counter again every 30 minutes. Okay. Dark light wallpapers, they are here, and if you want to change, make it permanent, no changes. If you want to make a permanent, then again edit this one. I didn't mention that earlier. Startups here, along at the somewhere at the bottom here. Just uncheck this and of course set a wallpaper here this side, and that will be permanent, nothing will change. Of course the wallpaper menu still there, but whenever you reboot, it will default to this wallpaper that you have set. Okay, wallpaper, automatic wallpaper, I already mentioned here, disabled by default. Waybar modules, okay, so let's say I change now the Waybar module. I'll change to, because the one I'm always using is this tab simple. Some of the guys, they were asking that nothing, they cannot find here the quick button or so on. And I mentioned here, every Waybar layouts are unique. You need to add manually or reorganize as per the Waybar modules. I'm not gonna do that now because I have just done it my latest video about Waybar. You do that one. Okay, then you rearrange, you change the way you want it here. Okay, if you don't like the way rainbow borders, 50% of the guys actually they prefer to remove it, 50% they keep it. I mean, that's the poll that I have set on Discord before, and they told me, most of them, they say it's disturbing and so on, but I don't know, maybe just not used to it. But of course you can always, you can delete this or you can edit here, this one. I believe my FAQ and the walkthrough or the wiki is I did a step-by-step, so it's easy to understand, I believe. And one of the questions as well is these colorful binders, colorful borders. Again, set in here. Don't like the Pokemon color script. This is the Pokemon color script here, and so on and so forth. And I will not go through here a lot. These are the FAQ, and then also here I've had some tips in Rising. Here, Keybinds, for example, as well, is in here. Okay, so this is like most little bit more comprehensive. And a notes to remember, for example, here, and so on. Release notes I also add on the wiki because then it's easier for you to go and check what the changes were during that. And of course YouTube videos, this is a playlist, gallery, this is Waybar styles, so on here, tips, ChangeLogs here. So see, I already started again with the development. Installation and copy. This one will be the last one that I will discuss. So you can see how much now, a little bit long video. Okay, updating. So let's say I have issued a new release. You can always download the Hyprland Dots. There are three functions here. This install scripts, if you rerun, the best way is to, let's say if I issued a big update, the best way is to re-download this install script and then rerun it again. That's because this is to ensure that apps or additional apps or packages are properly installed. So you don't have to, let's say I changed before to Wallast. You don't have to install the Wallast and then download again. So it will try to do again. And then there are three functions here. One is the copy.sh. Let's just go here. Copy.sh, release.sh, and upgrade.sh. Copy.sh, this is just only a copying of the config and of course setting the scripts to be executable. Release.sh, this will download from these releases. Okay? But once this one is run, it will download from this, but it will also run the copy. So it's like connecting. So you may think that the main branch is the beta, but it's not actually the beta. This is, how would I say? This is like a pre-stage before I release. For example, because the beta branch is the development here. This is the beta branch. And I do all the changes here, or all the pull requests, all the tests, I put it here. And then 1 day or 2 days before I issued a release, I put it on the main so that some guys, they were also testing. Sometimes I forgot things, all these kind of things. And then I released a new set of dots. And not a new set of dots, new chain, new release. Okay? So again, copy, release, upgrade. Copy will copy this automatic. Release is from the releases. Upgrade, this is a little bit different. So let's say now here, upgrade.sh. So it will check, of course, the installed version and this downloaded one. So let's say I will change this to v2.2.12. Let's just say. Once I run that, then a newer version is available. And I believe this will download, is it? Yeah, it will download the latest version. Yeah. So let's say upgrade, yes. Press upgrade. No, it doesn't download, by the way. It's because this already downloaded. Clone the Hyprland Dots first and then run this, okay? So, for example, here, it will have like a dry run, and then there are some changes here. First is it will check the, let's move this to other. So do you want to copy the files? This is the first dry run. This is like the changes. So I don't want that. Let's say no. And then kitty, again, no. And then this is, for example, here the changes. These are the changes in comparison and so on. So I'll just say no and no and no. Sway and see. Okay, let's just say, let's copy this way and see. So I choose yes. And then do you want to copy the Waybar files? Let's just say no here, for example. Rofi, no. And the fast fetch, I'll just say yes. And QTCT and so on. And let's just see this one by one. And then now it copies here. Now, don't worry, this is very important here, by the way. If you update the Waybar folder, make sure that you copy the backups. Now let's investigate the config. So for example here, see, sway and see before upgrade. It copies here, it creates a backup on this folder. So let's say you messed up something, you just yes, don't worry. Once you go to this .config directory, the script will create a before upgrade. So you can copy it here and then move over to the existing one. Okay. Now, I hope it's clear. That's the way for updating and so on. And then also, of course, while we are here, manual copy is here. I don't recommend it for newbies, of course, obviously. Development branch. If you have any, if you want to participate, if you have like an enhancements, if you want to participate, you want to contribute to this project, please clone the development branch and then push it to develop branch. So I can check, everybody can check before we put it to the main. Okay? Okay, I believe that's what I wanted to say. What happened now to my Waybar? Just gone. What else should I mention? Okay, so keybinds again, please go through here or on the Dots Wiki. Please have some time. This, if you go through quickly, perhaps less than 5 minutes, you should finish them all. Okay. All right, guys. So I guess that's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask on the comment down below. If you have also again a query, question, you can contact me on Discord. Most of the time I'm online on Discord. YouTube, sometimes I am replying on it, and so on. So okay, guys, I hope you learned something. Oh, it's a little bit long video now. Okay, guys, I'll see you again on the next video. And for those who have subscribed, please subscribe to support my channel, and thank you very much for your contribution. And by the way, I thanks to this two sponsors that I had last month. You can sponsor me if you want. You can buy me, support me through coffee, or you can buy me a coffee, or even donate a Bitcoin into my Bitcoin wallet. Okay, thank you for visiting, thank you for watching. I'll see you again on the next video. Bye, guys.